Alright guys, we just got off the water, so that's why we're doing today's Striper 101 video in the boat, but not in the water. It's windier than shit out there today. I'm talking like 30-mile-an-hour winds. We did good for a little while, even caught a couple of decent ones. So I wanted today to show you guys what we use on our boat. What do we carry on our boat when we go fishing? This is for the river. So I'm going to show you what our typical setups are and what I bring out on the water for myself and my clients. For myself and for my clients, the same thing across the board. Today we were out with a client, we had a single out, but variety is what we bring. So I'm going to run through what our typical setup is that we bring, and we have a first string, second string, all the way down to 10th string, so we can run through all the different lures and what we think is going to work for these striped bass. We do always have a big variety on hand, already rigged up, so you can be quick. You're on the river, you're drifting, you don't want to be sitting there tying and trying to find a bait out of your tackle box. You don't want to be doing that. You want to just be able to grab another pole, cast into it. Did you get a chaser? You're getting a bunch of chasers and those fish aren't committing? Grab a different pole, already rigged up, ready to go. Okay, so when we start off early in the morning, I like to do a little top water. So I'll explain to you what the setup is. So this is a Daiwa Fuego bait caster on a 6-cent sensory rod. Not a cheap setup, but hey, if you want quality, you got to pay for it. So the first one that I'll start off with, usually in the gray light or dark, is a popper. So just some walk the dog type bait. This is a 6 cents dogma, I think it's called, and it's kind of a shad color, a little bit of purple underneath here, clear with little greenish gold back. This one I absolutely love in the morning, and what I have on here is 12-pound fluorocarbon. So I'll start with that. If nothing's happening, I'll only give this 10 casts, see what happens. Next is this setup, a little bit heavier of a pole. This is a 7.7 fast, medium heavy. This is a 7.4 extra heavy because I'm going to throw bigger baits on it. So this is the Akuma Aceros bait casting reel, and then the 6 cents Divine 7.2 or 7.4 extra heavy. And this is a glide bait, and everybody calls everything that looks like a big fish a swim bait, but they're not. Glide bait. I will only throw this in the certain deep holes that I know hold fish. I'm not going to sit there and throw this bait out relentlessly all day. This is a specialty bait that I use in special circumstances when I get into certain holes, because again, we're all about the jerk bait like I told you guys, but I'm showing you how we start off. We do use other baits, so it's not 100% jerk baits, but the most consistent bait is the jerk bait. I'm going to get to that now. So I'll throw this selectively, another shad color. I really like that one. This setup right here, very good setup. I didn't say they're cheap, so if you're like, hey, I don't have all that, just, if you don't have a lot of money, still you can buy medium grade poles, cheaper poles, but having that variety is the difference of sometimes catching a fish or not. So again, I have a client out with me today that doesn't use a bait caster, so spinning rod. So what we have here is spinning rod. This one is a 7.3 medium with 8-pound fluorocarbon. And here we are with the jerk bait. Oh, and a Lose American Hero spinning setup. So this is one of our baits that we make, the River King. This is called the Smoke jerk bait. It's just clear with a little black head on it. This is our really go-to. This one works great. That's what we casted pretty much all day, and we'll show you probably either now or I just showed you right before this. I don't know, because we can make YouTube time, and I don't know. It happens, but am I going to put it now? glad you like that fish. So let's see where it ends up. Anyways. That'll work. It's a good way to start it off. Striper. Not a decent though. Oh, yeah. No, he's a good one. Oh, yeah. Damn. Oh yeah, he's good. Nice. Didn't need to be goofy, but whatever. Been out in the water all day long. So, great setup right there. The next one that we have. So after the sun comes up and it's bright out, water's clear, this is an Akumo Rocks. Again, with 8-pound fluorocarbon. This is another one of our jerkbaits that we make. This is the laser eye, and this one in yellow, because again, yellow works real well here. But you don't want to throw this early in the morning. This is past 8 or 9 o'clock when the sun is fully out. That's when you want to go to a brighter color. That works great. Next up is the smallmouth killer and the big striped bass killer. Okay, so this is a Fenwick HMG with a Shimano Sienna bait caster, a little bit heavier on here. This is 10-pound fluorocarbon. And this is a swim crank, they call it, even though it's not really a swim bait. What it is, it's a glide bait, and what they've done here is they've added on that lip there to make it a swim crank, they call it, and this feathered tail. I'm a huge fan of feathered trailers. So this one's in a purple and black clear. That bad boy will destroy some smallmouth. You might have seen this exact bait that I use in some of the previous videos where we just slay the smallmouth on those things. So yeah, so that's a really, really go-to bait there. I think we have some of these in stock in the tackle store, but I'm not sure. We sell it in these fairly quick, but we do get them in again and again. Okay, next, my other swim bait pull. And yes, I lost the swim bait today because, like a goofball, I tied a bad knot. So this one is a 6 cents MFer. This is a Milliken Fishing model of a 6 cents pull. It's a extra heavy 7.4, a lot of backbone right here, and a loose American Hero bait caster, again with 12-pound fluorocarbon. There was a trout-colored swim bait on here this morning. I lost it on the first cast. Not a very good move on my end. All right, so like I said, when you get into the cheaper stuff, it's just fine, but we're gonna go to this pull first. So this is the next one that I go to. This is Bass Pro Shops Mega Cast. These are actually pretty good reels. You can get these for about 30 bucks. They're actually pretty decent reels. So I run a lot of them, not top of the line, just kind of middle of the road. And with a Ducket Triad one-piece spinning caster. Now this one, a lot of these stripers like to feed on crawdads. So this is what's called a hyper jerk. 6 cents hyper jerk in the red and orange with, again, another feather on the tail. They're not hitting the shad colored baits, the fish looking baits. Go to something craw, because if you've ever cut open one of these striped bass, either got trout in it or crawdads, at least in this section of the river. So again, in that craw color, great stuff. Don't confuse this with the crankbaits. It's not, it's a hyper jerk. And we do have these in stock. Great, cool bait. You wouldn't think it, but they dart all over the place even though there's no lip. So that design on there is really, really, really good. Now, again, like I said, you don't have to go expensive. Although these Guggen Squad poles are made by Favorite, great brand, both good brands. I like these poles for the price. You can usually pick these up for about $60 to $80 depending on what store you go to, the full spinner setup. These are good setups, and I will tell you that these poles right here, rods and reels, have outlasted our $150, $200 setups by a mile. Literally outlasted them, and you can get these, like I said, for 60 to 80 bucks. But again, this one has 10-pound fluorocarbon. This is just a glide bait in smoke and clear, again with the feather on the tail. These work in spring. Killer, killer, killers. Got one on here, not a very big one, so it probably won't be on this video. And the last two. So now if we go into little backwaters or the eddies and we're smallmouth fishing, we keep a couple smallmouth specific rigs set up as well. And what this is an underspin. I don't know if any of you've seen that. This is what truly a swim bait is, soft plastic swim bait. This is the 6 cents. What do they call these, Elijah? Is it Divine?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, the Divine swim bait. And what this is the VMC. We have these in stock, these underspins. It's VMC, so what it is, it's a keel weight with the underspin there. Great design, because really what happens with this is it's weedless. So you see you've got it rigged up this way. Let's pull out of my face. Come on, pull. All right, so how this works is you have that little slot in there in the top, and the way that this VMC's works, see how that the hook shank goes straight across? So you can just barely move it up like that. Now that tip's not there anymore, but when a fish bites on it, bang, it's gonna get it right in the gill. So, right in the gizzard. So anyways, important to have it weedless, even though this will catch on some stuff. What I like about these underspins, you can see this wire that they have here. That keeps that spinner back there underneath the tail, and that action with it spinning, deadly on the smallmouth. Although we didn't even see a smallmouth today, unfortunately. Even though we fish for them, but you just don't get them every day. And last but not least, springtime. I know a lot of you guys are gonna bass, all you pro bass guys, all you bitchin' guys with your sparkly boats are gonna bag on me for this one. Well, bag on me if you want, because we've caught just under 2 records last year on one of these. These are the swim baits that we make, the River King. And what I have here is crappie colored skirt with a prawn. This is not a crawdad. That is called a prawn, and it's made by 6 cents. So this is one of our River King spinner baits that I make. And with the crappie color, see the black on the top, white on the bottom, little yellowish stuff on the sides. Spinner, I like here, because the water's so clear, single blade, I think 2 blades. You don't get as many hits unless you have a single blade. I like a willow blade like this or a gold Colorado blade. And I like these really heavy because it is windy and out here a lot. So I like this bait to drop, because a lot of times when we put this up next to the reeds, the fish are gonna hit this thing on the downfall, and I really like that. I like it to go a little bit heavy. So this is 1/2 ounce. So I throw 1/2 ounce and 3/8. I don't mess with the 1/4 ounce ones. With current, just doesn't cut the mustard. Oh, so what is this pole? This pole is an old Quantum given to me by my friend Shay with an Abu Garcia Elite Max. Pretty expensive reel. This one did hold up, I will say. This Abu Garcia Elite Max held up. A lot of the other Lew's and, well, Lew's did okay. A lot of the under $100 reels that we've used this year have turned to complete shit like after 5 or 6 uses. So we don't carry those in our shop anymore. We all have different brands in there right now. So come on down and check those out. Anyways, so I just wanted to kind of run through what our typical setup is. Obviously I have a tackle box in here. We run different colors. I keep other baits in the boat just in case, but I like to have a whole, when you see this, it's not somebody showing off and saying, hey, look at how many poles I can afford. It's not that. You've got to have those baits in the water, one after another, after another, after another. Be able to change and having to stop and tie and miss that spot. Those are the difference between getting 4 fish in a day or 10 fish. There it is. You got to pay to play. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. The more that we do this, the more videos we can put out. We really appreciate all the support that we're getting as we're getting this channel off the ground. Again, don't forget about the Striper Tournament, April 17th and 18th. If you haven't signed up, you can sign up in the tackle shop or at bullheadcitystripedbass.com. You can enter there. There's going to be camping allowed at this site, live music, car show, boat show, gun show, huge prizes. We have a lot of great sponsors for this event. So please don't be late in signing up for this. You can camp as well. There's a link on the website there to camp. Come down and visit us, sign up by phone or sign up online, team event. And also for the kids, you can drag your wife and kids to this one because on Sunday the 18th, free trout derby for kids 16 and under. They'll get a t-shirt, lunch, poles to use if you don't have one, and it is free of charge. If you're in the tournament, we'll have mentors there to watch the kids, so you can drop your kid off there. Make sure that at least one of you adults is around, but we have mentors there to help them fish. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. We appreciate the support. Our family really digs all the support that we're getting, both our guide service and the tackle shop. So from the bottom of our heart, the Huseman family, thank you very much.